Attorney General Todd Blanche says the delay was to protect those who survived Epstein's abuse.
To protect victims, we redacted every woman depicted in any image or video, with the exception of Ms. Maxwell. We did not redact images of any men, unless it was impossible to redact the woman without also redacting the man.
Blanche referring to Ghislaine Maxwell, who was convicted for recruiting many of the women that Epstein abused. A source familiar with the case tells CBS News that Attorney General Pam Bondi was livid after a judge said there were no grounds to arrest journalist Don Lemon for going into a Minneapolis church to cover anti-ICE protests nearly 2 weeks ago. Now she's ordered and announced his arrest, which is raising questions. CBS's Lilia Luciano.
We don't know exactly what the evidence is. We don't know what activities he carried out, but we have seen the videos. He said he was interviewing the pastor. We've heard from Don Lemon's attorney, who says he was exercising as a journalist his First Amendment speech.
Accused killer Luigi Mangione will not face the death penalty. CBS's Michael Wallace is in New York with more on the judge's decision.
U.S. District Judge Margaret Garnett dismissed the federal murder charge against the alleged killer of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. She ruled it was technically flawed. She let federal stalking charges stand. Those carry a maximum sentence of life in prison. Mangione has also pleaded not guilty to state murder charges, which also carry a maximum of life in prison.
The storm that's descending upon the southeast is not nearly as big as last weekend's, but it's expected to be powerful with high winds and snow in much of the southeast. Meteorologist Craig Allen.
By Saturday, moderate to heavy snow will be falling across northern portions of Georgia, North and South Carolina, on up through southern sections of Virginia. Now, it will fall just short of the Washington, D.C., Baltimore region. Most of the heavy snow will stay south, and then the storm is expected to move off the coast.
Senate Democrats have apparently made a deal with the White House to avoid a partial government shutdown, with the White House agreeing to a split package to keep the government in business while holding off on a lengthy funding package for DHS and ICE. CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns.
They were supposed to vote on this bill last night, but it got stuck after some Republican opposition. But today, they are likely to vote on a package that has been negotiated by President Trump and Senate Democrats. That's something we rarely see up here.
The Dow is down 405 points. This is CBS News.
Take control of your financial life. Follow and listen to Money Watch with Jill Schlesinger on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
A wild morning in Tukwila. We'll tell you about the police response there in just a moment. But first, we're going to check your KIRO News Radio traffic. And we are running on target for this morning's drive with north-south slowing on I-5. Everywhere else, it's a Friday light. But I-5 is a challenge. I-5 northbound starting from about Boeing Field into downtown Seattle. And the slowing southbound starts from about the Bitter Lake area. No collisions, but it is a little bit of a delay. Federal Way to Seattle, 30 minutes. Linwood to Seattle, 24 minutes. And that's actually pretty light for this time of day when you factor in the Revive I-5 slowing that we usually see. Renton to Bellevue, 405 North is 21 minutes. Bothell to Bellevue is also 21 minutes. Keep it up, guys. Lake bridges are clear, and Everett, Mukilteo, we're all a speed limit drive. This report brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Police in Tukwila started the morning with a car chase and officer-involved shooting. Amazingly, there were no injuries for anyone. Here's what happened. Officers tried to stop a car with no license plates around 3:20 a.m. Police say that driver ignored them and took off. At one point, an officer fired their gun. Again, nobody was hit or injured. They finally stopped that car using a pit maneuver to disable the vehicle. Turns out the suspect was under the influence, had a suspended license, and was driving a stolen car. They were booked on investigation of multiple felony charges. A jury has found the city of Seattle liable for the killing of a teenager during the 2020 social justice protests.
The city was ordered to pay more than $30 million to the family of 16-year-old Antonio Mays Jr., according to the Seattle Times. The jury found the city negligent in its emergency response. Mays was shot in the Chopper, Capitol Hill occupied protest zone. The police department had abandoned its East Precinct, and medics would not enter the CHOP zone after people called 911 to report the shooting. A 14-year-old was also shot, but he survived. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
The director of the Washington Office of Independent Investigations, Roger Rogoff, is stepping down from his position effective March 3rd. Since 2022, Rogoff has led the office responsible for conducting independent investigations into officer use of force cases statewide. Retired King County Sheriff Urquhart.
This agency is important because it brings credibility and transparency to any investigation that's done where a police officer shoots and kills someone.
Chief of Staff Jane Nesbitt will serve as interim director. Now let's get a quick check on your forecast. And we are rainy now over most of the region. That's going to lighten up and taper off later today. We are going to be rainy again tomorrow. Highs today, 52. High tomorrow, 58. Right now it's 48 in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery with KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Jump up and get down. Everybody jump, because it is Fresh Fridays here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for hanging out with us. What a beautiful day it is, even though I don't see any sun, but it's still beautiful. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning. Hey, we have a very, very busy Friday edition of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up at 9:30. A Super Bowl bet, 2 mayors, one very public loss, and we are going to be talking with Luke Ducey, who's going to be talking about what the mayor has on the line with a bet with LA's mayor. And this bet went a little bit differently, so we're going to talk about that. As always, we invite you to join us on our text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Let's get to it. Top stories of the day brought to you by Pendergast Law.
Former CNN anchor Don Lemon, who is now an independent journalist, has been arrested for going inside a St. Paul, Minnesota church that protesters were targeting. CBS News' Ian Lee has been covering the anti-ICE protests in Minneapolis, and he has these details.
On Thursday, federal agents went to arrest Don Lemon, and he is being charged with the FACE Act. Now, it's important to note this incident happened 2 weeks ago at City's Church in St. Paul. Don Lemon was in there when protesters disrupted this church service. Don Lemon was trying to interview people during that church service or during the disruption.
It's also important to note, G, that a judge in Minneapolis had already refused to have Don Lemon and the others arrested. So U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced this morning that she had ordered those arrests. And the charges against them are based on a law that was aimed at preventing people from blocking abortion clinic entrances.
This is really a conflict of the First Amendment. You have freedom of worship, freedom of the press, freedom to protest. And so judges are going to have to determine how does that all stack up.
And he was actually arrested by federal agents in L.A., where he had been covering the Grammy Awards.
Well, I guess that's where we are now. If you're a journalist, the potential of you being arrested, and I think that we have talked about in other parts of the world where journalists that they don't like can be arrested as well. And I'm sure that there are people that love that this is happening. I looked at the official Twitter page or X page of the White House, and they put out a post that said, hey, when life gives you lemons, and then talking about him being arrested. All of this, what's happening, is a joke to this federal administration. All of this that is happening is a joke to some people here in the world. I just want to be on record to say things that are happening right now, it is not a joke, and it is very serious. There's a lot of games that is being played. There's a lot of pettiness that's being played at the expense of people who might not agree with the current administration. And this reminds me of other countries. It reminds me of dictatorships that happen.
Well, and this should be an outrage to anybody, even if you cannot stand Don Lemon or you cannot stand the fact that he has been very critical of this administration. During his show from the church, he would said repeatedly, I'm not here as an activist, I'm here as a journalist. He was describing the scene in front of him. All of this is not happening in a vacuum. And there were other journalists also arrested. And again, the timing of it matters because this happened weeks ago, and a judge in Minnesota said, yeah, we're not going to arrest him. So the attorney general says, well, then we're going to do it. And you put that against the backdrop of an administration that is repeatedly overlooking constitutional guardrails, whether it's immigration enforcement. I mean, the list grows, and we're talking about this is an attempt to intimidate. This is an attempt to silence critics. The First Amendment is not optional. And again, if a government starts violating that so openly and then jokes about it online on a social media post, this should be alarming to every single one of us.
Yeah. It reminds me, it feels like the Constitution and the Bible are kind of on the same page. We have a lot of folks that like to pick and choose, right, when they want to agree with it. Like 1 minute you are all for the First Amendment, and then now some of you are not. 1 minute you're for the Second Amendment, right, the right to bear arms, and then sometimes you're not, depending on who it is. And again, I said this morning, that this is Fresh Fridays. I'm not going to get emotional today, and I'm not going to get emotional because I hate to say this, but a lot of folks told you so, that this is what was going to happen.
Well, someone who doesn't want this to continue to happen is Seattle's new mayor, and she's moving fast on immigration enforcement. Katie Wilson announcing a bunch of different actions aimed at protecting residents of the city amid all this growing concern about federal immigration activity.
I think this is a really scary time for a lot of people in Seattle and around the country. And as the mayor, I really feel a great responsibility for people's safety and people's feelings of safety.
So her orders include a new community hotline. She's going to be releasing $4 million for immigrant legal support. She is announcing that federal agents would be barred from using city property to stage operations. We're talking about parks or parking lots. Jeremiah Chan teaches constitutional law at the University of Washington, and he tells KIRO 7 TV this is only going to work on civil cases, of course, nothing criminal.
If they had a judicially authorized warrant for a person for violating a criminal law, that the city wouldn't be way less able to enforce and say, you are not able to enter this public park.
The executive order would also direct Seattle police to document and verify any immigration enforcement that they encounter. Officers would be told to ask for federal ID and preserve evidence if something criminal appears to be happening. And the mayor and supporters call this all necessary preparation. But critics are saying that this could actually escalate tensions with federal authorities.
Ursula, do you think that with everything going on right now, that do you think a lot of us are concerned with what's happening across the country and here locally?
Depending on who you are, depending on, I'm going to be honest and blunt, the color of your skin. I've told you that in a few weeks I'm going to be leaving the country. I have never, ever worried about being able to come back into the country. But the fact that I have been very critical of this administration gives me pause. I have actually had people ask me, are you worried? My own sister's asking, like, are you worried about how critical you've been? Like, why are we not defending our First Amendment rights? Why are we so willing, too many of us, and so you asked me, your question was, do you think people are worried? Absolutely, people are worried.
Yeah.
Depending on who you support. Yes.
You know, there should have been, and we should always be worried when people are being treated unfairly, right? And I think we should all be worried when all persons here in the United States are not afforded due process. Because even though, like, you might not be the target, so they say, what happens? Are you prepared if there is a loved one of yours that is the target? Maybe your daughter does marry a Latino. Maybe your daughter does marry someone of color. And so then what? What happens then? So I would just say that the United States of America that we have grown up in, going to school in, learning about history, learning about what has happened in the past, we should be very alarmed because here we are, the same thing. Don't get me wrong, Ursula, we weren't perfect here in the United States, but we had the First Amendment, we had rights, we had due process. Those are things that we could be proud about.
Well, I mean, you talk about should be worried. A shoreline father, it's in the news now. He's being held at the Northwest Ice Processing Center in Tacoma after masked federal agents arrested him while he was driving his 2-year-old son to daycare. Ivan Guzman is a cook at a local sandwich shop. He is an immigrant from Mexico. He was pulled over Sunday morning near Aurora and 163rd, boxed in by unmarked vehicles. Witnesses say his toddler was left alone in the back seat for about 40 minutes while agents waited for someone to take custody of that child. So far, federal officials have not said why he was arrested. His employer says she's unaware of any criminal record, and there's been no public allegation that he committed a violent crime. Again, you ask the question, are people worried? There is more fear surrounding ICE arrests, and we're now learning that Seattle Public Schools is reaffirming policies that bar immigration agents from entering campuses without a valid judicial warrant. You remember, was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago? Yes, and several other schools where they had a lockdown because there were just reports of ICE agents near the schools. And now district leaders emphasize no ICE agent has ever entered a Seattle school, but the fear alone is having to change the behavior.
Right. I was going to say...
I'm feeling a different energy from you today, and I'm curious, is it because is it just pure exhaustion, or is it, hey, we knew this was going to happen and it's happening?
Well, the energy you hear from me is, you know how sometimes people say it's a marathon and not a sprint? Mm-hmm. It is. This is a marathon. What you are talking about today, there's a really, really good chance you're going to be talking about next week, and the week after that, and the week after that. As a matter of fact, Ursula, for everyone that's listening, for the next 3 years. Now, it might subside a little bit, potentially with November coming up with the elections, but we're at a time right now where Congress kind of remains silent. They're not even talking. I don't even know if they exist. The three branches of government that used to protect and make sure the United States was kind of doing what it was supposed to do, that's out of the window. So what we are talking about today is, the new normal. And so the energy that you're getting from me, the energy is now people in this country who didn't believe that it was happening in this country to people of color. Now you're seeing the exact same playbook. And so maybe I won't call it exhaustion, Ursula, but I'll just call it I'm going to go ahead and have to keep my sanity because I know, Ursula, next week you're going to be talking about the same thing. It's just going to be a different situation.
Well, and I will say that because of what the people in Minnesota have been doing, and I will say the brave people in Minnesota are doing, and those who are supporting them around the country, and the voices that are finally being found, and people who are finally having a backbone. Even, it takes a Republican leader in Congress who is leaving Congress to say what so many in Congress want to say. But he's not running again. That's Tom from...
In Minnesota?
Yeah, no, North Carolina. Tom Tillis?
Oh, Tillis.
Yes. Yep. Where he is saying what others are saying quietly. People need to have a backbone, but the pushback and the fact that poll numbers are going down dramatically for this current president, absolutely you're seeing a softening of certain things. So my message would be, you might be exhausted. Everyone might be exhausted. Or think, okay, this doesn't affect me until it does affect you, but you can't let off the pressure. Stephen, the 253, texted in and said, do you really believe that illegal immigrants have constitutional rights? We've already gone over that. Yes, they do. Look up the Constitution. It's afforded to all people in this country, not just citizens of the United States. So, yeah, I mean.
Before we move on, and I'm glad you called out my energy, and I want to just say this one last thing. While we are spending so much time talking about ICE, we're talking about people not understanding that all persons in the United States are afforded due process. While we're talking about all these things, there's one thing that is happening continuously. As a matter of fact, it's worse today than it was when they voted for this administration to come in office. And that is the affordability. That is the ability to buy groceries. And so I'm saying while we are talking about this, there are mass layoffs throughout the country.
Oh, yeah. And we talk about that, too.
The working class is struggling financially, right? And so it feels like we'll continue to talk about these distractions. Meanwhile, there's a lot of people who can't afford their rent. They can't afford groceries. They can't afford gas. And
they can't. They're too fearful to get out of their house.
One of the reasons why he was voted in office was because he promised you on day one that your expenses would go down. Mm-hmm. Even though we all know that a president can't do that, but that promise had a lot of people voting. And so while we're spending all this time on ICE and all of those things, it's not helping out America.
Mm-hmm. 360 texted in, you are all for the First Amendment when it's people like Don Lemon, but if TPUSA tries to hold events, you try to stop them. Actually, no, they should be able to hold events. That's the point. It should not be because of your certain viewpoint you are allowed or not allowed to hold events. And you are talking about someone, I mean, if you're talking about going after journalists, again, regardless of how you feel about Don Lemon in particular, there were other journalists also arrested. That is an absolute intimidation tactic, and we should all be concerned. Okay, I'm going to move on because did you hear that Seattle is now on the hook for more than $30 million after a jury found the city negligent in the 2020 killing of 16-year-old Antonio Mays Jr.? So this is the teen who was shot inside the CHOP zone at a time when the city had abandoned the East Precinct and emergency responders were struggling to actually get into that area. After the verdict, May's father spoke with KIRO 7 TV, reacting to a decision years in the making.
To know my son and to know that he was strong, proud, black, positive, and big-hearted, kind-hearted, and hard-working, that's the kind of, memory that should resonate when they think about my son. Somebody that when you see him coming, he cares about you.
Now, court records show witnesses called 911 after the shooting, but medics didn't enter that zone because they were too worried about their own safety. So now, again, the city is on the hook for this jury's $30 million award.
Yeah, and the city should be on the hook. They allowed that to happen. Chaz, CHOP, whatever you want to call it, should never happen in the first place. They should have never evacuated the East Precinct. They should have never erased them text messages. We could keep doing this till we blew in the face, Ursula. And if you guys want to go pull up the archives and see what Ursula and I were saying in present time.
Yeah, that summer of love.
We literally were saying, the summer of love.
It was a disaster.
What a joke. It was a disaster then. And guess what? Again, it will be the hardworking folks of Seattle area that will be paying the taxes on this right here, $30 million. And my heart and prayers goes out to the family and loved ones because you know what? The city of Seattle did allow that to happen. Coming up at 9:47 is Flex Fridays. Time to talk about, did you go to the gym? We're going to ask Ursula if she made it to the gym this week. We got to talk about that. But coming up, we chat with Luke Ducey, who sat down with Mayor Katie Wilson ahead of the big game. Gee and Ursula.
Does my voice sound pretty good? Better than I thought I would.
The John Curley Show.
I was really trying to work with my diaphragm.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
I was screaming as everybody else was screaming. And all of a sudden, the muscles in my neck tightened up and it shut off blood in my head. I thought I almost passed out. I was so close.
What if you died?
I would have been paying no attention to me. Like, get up, Dad.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
What a good move I made. Let me tell you a quick story. I've done a whole bunch of races and a bunch of other stuff like that, and my left hip started bothering me about 5 years ago. And I go to the doctor, and he's like, you need a hip replacement. I was like, I'm 60. Yeah, we're going to ask you to wait a little while because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to go into the grave at the same time. I said, what do you do about all this pain? Well, you could, aspirin, and you could continue to do this and that and, sleep with a pillow between your legs. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Then I was talking to Bob Stelton over there at the sports department. So he went to Dr. Mark Wagner, and I think he had his hip done as well. So I go in there. I said to Dr. Wagner, can you fix my hip? Takes a look at the MRI. Yes. So I got the stem cell procedure. I'm telling you something. This is the best. If you've been thinking about, surgery for your knee, your wrist, your shoulder, or hip, no. Check out Dr. Mark Wagner and go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast!
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hi, I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
Lionel Richie. And Earth, Wind, and Fire. The tour continues. Seattle, you're invited to sing a song all night long. Lionel Richie and Earth, Wind, and Fire. Together in one magical night you don't want to miss. Climate Pledge Arena, August 3rd. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
DUI? Felony charge? Trust Bradley Johnson Lawyers and 1-800-DUI-OA. Over 30 years serving the Pacific Northwest and hundreds of 5-star reviews. Every mistake has a solution at 1-800-DUI-OA.
1-800-DUI-OA! When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/22/26.
New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Attorney General Pam Bondi confirms that she is the one who ordered the arrest of former CNN anchor Don Lemon after a judge refused to do so. He was one of several people arrested after a protest inside a church in St. Paul, Minnesota, which targeted a pastor protesters believed to be an ICE agent. Lemon says he was acting as an independent and neutral observer. CBS News' Ian Lee has been covering the protests in Minnesota.
This is really a conflict of the First Amendment. You have freedom of worship, freedom of the press, freedom to protest. And so judges are going to have to determine how does that all stack up.
The federal charges against Lemon and others are based on a law that was to prevent people from blocking abortion clinic entrances. Senate leadership are working to shore up support for a compromise to keep the government open. A deal apparently takes out funding for the Department of Homeland Security, which Democrats like Washington Senator Maria Cantwell said they would not vote for.
And my only question now is whether my colleagues on the other side of the aisle are going to stand up for the role and responsibility the federal government plays in oversight and investigation and upholding the civil liberties of Americans in the United States of America when these incidents happen.
Just this morning, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche confirmed the Department of Justice is opening a civil rights investigation into the death of Alex Preddy. He's the second U.S. citizen to be killed in a confrontation with the Border Patrol in Minneapolis. The deadline for a vote on funding is midnight tonight. A federal judge has ruled prosecutors cannot seek the death penalty for Luigi Mangione. He's accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. A U.S. district judge dismissed a federal murder charge, finding it was technically flawed. And a 25-year-old Seattle man was convicted Thursday in a violent crime spree that spanned cities across King County in 2022. It started in Kent with a carjacking at gunpoint. He then threatened a second woman at Bellevue Square Mall the same day and shot a man in the leg while stealing another car in Seattle before leading police on a high-speed chase and being arrested in Renton. Now let's get a check on your drive. KIRO News Radio traffic. We've got one issue to tell you about on the northbound I-5 off-ramp to Seneca Street in Seattle. A disabled vehicle is blocking the ramp, so you've got a little slowing there on that exit and a little bit on to northbound I-5. But otherwise, we're actually a pretty light morning. Federal Way to Seattle on I-5 northbound is 30 minutes. Linwood to Seattle in the southbound direction is 24 minutes, which is a pretty big surprise. 21 minutes to get from Renton to Bellevue, and Bothell to Bellevue is 21 minutes. This report brought to you by the KIRO News Radio app. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. We are going to dry out throughout the day with a high of 52. More rain tomorrow and a high of 58. It's 48 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. It is a fresh Friday, and I'm happy to say that we have Luke Ducey in studio with us. And Luke, you had a chance to have a conversation with Seattle's mayor about the Super Bowl.
About Super Bowl bets, about coffee, about a lot of things. Yeah. But first, it's Fresh Friday, it's Blue Friday. Hey, come on, let's get in the mood. Let's drop the beat.
Turn down for what?
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. All right, talked with Mayor Wilson last night. She's in D.C. right now, Washington, D.C., at the Conference of Mayors, and she recently made good with her bet on, with Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. She made good on that bet. They did a reverse bet, which is kind of awkward, but Wilson's team sent Bass a basket of local coffee from a small roaster, and here's how she explained that reverse bet.
In retrospect, it's a little strange because we won, so I'm not sure why the winning team is the one sending something to the losing team, but apparently that's the way we did the bet.
Right, okay. Well, okay, that's fine. So now they're in negotiations. They are going on right now concerning a bet with the Boston Mayor Michelle Wu.
There's been some talk of Dungeness crab and lobster. Also some talk about, wearing each other's jerseys while riding public transit.
Which would be a total mistake. You cannot wear a Patriots jersey. Not that we're going to lose, but I'm just saying that would be horrible. But, this was also a chance to get to know the mayor, Mayor Wilson, a little bit better. She's a brand new mayor, of course, and she was a great sport. A lot of fun to talk with. For instance, I asked her what is her go-to coffee order.
I'm really boring. I usually get a split shot latte.
Which is, and I had to look this up, you get 2 shots of espresso from a single dose of coffee, so you get 2 espresso flavors in one drink. Sounds good. I also asked her for her prediction for the Super Bowl. She said the Hawks will win, and what she would be eating Super Bowl Sunday: potato chips, French fries, or some sort of fried potato product. And I asked her what if she was the coach back in 2014 for the Seahawks. You're a coach in the Super Bowl. It's fourth quarter. This could be the last play of the game. Do you hand the ball to Marshawn?
Oh, God. Yeah, sure.
Good answer. All right, we're having fun here. A couple more. And finally, because she gave LA's mayor a basket of local coffee after calling months ago as mayor-elect for a boycott of Starbucks during a demonstration over union contract negotiations.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
That's how I felt when I asked my final question last night.
I gotta ask, why not Starbucks coffee?
Well, I just love supporting our small local roasters.
Good PR answer. There you have it. I gave her an out for that last question. I said, you don't have to answer this. I'm just going to, but, she answered it, and she was a good sport.
Nice.
Hey, Luke Ducey.
Yes.
What's she like, in your opinion? That's the first time I've got to really hear her outside of political speak. What's she like?
Yeah, she cordial, engaging, funny. She was really nice.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, we were just talking about things like this, but
Sure.
we talked. We had one other serious question about ICE related, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But yeah, it was really an enjoyable conversation.
Okay, if she weren't the mayor, would she care about the Seahawks and the Super Bowl? Did you ask that question?
That's a great question. We talk about some of those questions too. They make videos, and they made videos before the bet with LA's mayor, and there's going to be a video coming out with apparently with the mayor of Boston as well. Those were a little awkward to watch, I think. A little scripted, but she says she's a Seahawks fan. We got to believe her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Assume best intentions, always.
Okay, what do we know, G, about the team right now? So they're heading out to the Bay Area now?
Yeah, this weekend. I think
injuries,
Sunday.
Are we good?
Yeah, sure. I mean, all teams right now have a bunch of players that have been going hard since early August. So they're not all 100% right now. But as far as everything's concerned, it should be pretty good. Yeah, so the Seahawks, and looking forward to it. And Luke, you and I will kind of be roommates next week.
We're like roommates, not roommates.
Roommates, not roommates next week. I'll be down to cover early, and then you'll be coming down later to go to the game and all that kind of stuff.
Like 2 ships in the night.
Yeah.
We will have the same room. We were told last night, we were given our room orders, and we have the same room. And we won't see each other because he leaves and I come in.
Okay,
I just want you to not,
How are you feeling?
Are you
First
messy?
of all,
You're not messy. You strike me as very clean.
No,
he's not messy.
Okay.
Okay, so how do you look at next week's assignment? I mean, that's a plum assignment. Have you covered?
I have. I went to the Super Bowl down in 2014 when we lost to the Patriots, and I'll tell you, a lot of people, it's funny because you have friends that always say, oh my God, that's so cool. That's really cool. It is cool. Don't get me wrong. But what people don't realize is when you go there to work, you're working the whole time.
So describe that, because the whole media row and what that is like. I mean, I'd love to hear from you guys who've actually been there, because for those of us who haven't experienced it, it's hard to even imagine.
It's a circus. It's a zoo. It's not like covering anything else. You have people from all over the world, literally journalists all over the world. When you go into the media room where you actually work and they have Radio Row, oftentimes. It's like a conference room in a giant hotel, in a giant conference room, and it's a room that you can see as far as you can see. I mean, it is massive. And I remember being there in the middle of the night doing my late night, cutting my stuff up, and there would be crews from South America there right next to me.
So cool.
It was really cool. You meet people from everywhere. It's a zoo.
Yeah, okay. And Gee, are there names or people that you are thinking, like, I've got to get that interview?
No, not until I get there.
Yeah.
Because once you get there, you'll start seeing people that you never imagined was going to be there. And I like how Luke explained it. It is a circus, but I'll tell you what I love most about Radio Row. Because just imagine all the big dogs, all the big fancy setups. You have people, ESPN, all the NFL Network, and all the fancy folks. And then you have the small-time people like me, right? But see...
Scrappier.
But the scrappier.
Yeah.
But see, I got the personality. A lot of them big dogs don't. So they need to have someone like, hey, can you go over and please ask them? They don't have the game. They don't have the personality to go up to some of these folks. And then they wonder, hey, how come G. Scott always gets the big dogs, right?
Well,
and
you also have
love this
awesome
type
connections. You have
But I didn't used to have those connections. It's the scrappy. So I love the media circus that Luke talks about because then the Luke Duceys of the world can come down there and he's scrappy as well. But all the big... can you come over here and we'll have coffee and we'll roll out the red carpet. And meanwhile, Luke Ducey and G. Scott's like, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Not so nice to meet you. Hey, I loved you in this. A lot of times, these people don't even know what they look like.
Yeah.
They don't even know. They're like, G, who is that? That's why I win.
That's so true. That is so true.
They don't even know who
you
they
see a lot of who is that.
That is hilarious.
Did you hear the question that he asked the mayor about, would you have Marshawn run the ball? What'd she say? Sure.
There are more celebrities and more sports celebrities there than your head is like on a swivel. Oh my God, they're there. You cannot stop recognizing people, and it is that crazy. Gee, you're gonna kill it next week with those interviews. I know it.
And so the Gee and Ursula show is gonna kill it because we're gonna hear so many of those interviews on our show next week.
There we go. Hey, thanks, Luke.
Thanks for having me.
Flex Fridays is today. We get to check in. Come on now, Texas, Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Did you work out this week? Let's come on. This is time. Every Friday, 9:47, we check in. Next, Gee Ursula.
Holy smokes! For 40 years, he's been part of the soundtrack of summer across the Pacific Northwest.
The Griffeys with back-to-back home runs!
KIRO Newsradio congratulates Rick Riz.
Everybody scores!
Season 41 may be his last, but it promises to be one to remember.
The modern-day Bambino, Cal Raleigh.
We can't wait. From KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
It is a big deal to buy a new car, and that's why where you buy that new vehicle matters just as much as what you're going to buy. And you know, if you've been listening to the show, I drive a Subaru Outback, and we also have a Forester in our family. Both of them purchased from Carter Subaru. And what keeps us loyal to Carter Subaru is that they treat customers like family. They don't resort to any high pressure, no games. It is a dealership that treats everyone so well. And that kind of reputation spreads, and you can really see it when you drive around because you will notice that Carter Subaru license plate frames are everywhere. Carter is Seattle's only Subaru dealership, and right now they have more than 700 Subarus in stock. That is the largest selection in our state. For example, you can get the 2026 Outback starting at 3.9% financing. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline or Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 1/31/26.
The Boat Show, the Boat Show, the Big Seattle Boat Show.
The Big Seattle Boat Show is happening now through February 7th. It's the best time to buy with big selection, big discounts, and big fun for everyone. It's a big deal. Presented by Sundance Yachts and Port of Seattle. Make it a date Friday evenings with Boat Show After Dark, featuring unforgettable ambiance, music, food, beer, and wine. Details and discount tickets at seattleboatshow.com.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
New CBS Sunday.
The Grammys, baby!
History will be made. Live, unfiltered, unexpected. Woo! Bigger than ever.
I was a ghost.
Bigger stars, bigger performances. Music's biggest night is getting bigger.
Now you see what all the hype is about.
Trevor Noah hosts the Grammy Awards live.
Anything is possible.
CBS Sunday and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
You've worked hard, saved diligently, and now retirement is on the horizon. But will your nest egg go the distance? With rising cost and uncertain markets, there's no time for oversimplified plans. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Y'all ready for this?
Oh, I love it, Nick. Way to get us going, brother. Very good. It is now time for Flex Fridays. We do this every Friday at 9:47. It's just a simple check-in, and if you're new to the show, we'll get into it.
Hey, I'm always flexing.
Yeah, we're always flexing for Flex Fridays. And so here's what happened. Before the end of last year, Ursula was having a discussion with her doctor, and the doctor basically said, hey, if you increased your workouts just a little bit, lifted some weights, that would be great. So Ursula told us a story, and we talked about it, and we said, hey, how about in the new year, 2026, we make a deal with each other. We'll call it Flex Fridays, and every Friday at 9:47, we'll check in, and here's the goal. To at least work out, do some type of exercise one time a week. Now, if you want to build from that and go to 2 days and 3 days and 4 days, that's on you. But the goal is to be able to say by the end of 2026, hey, I worked out 52 times. I worked out once a week. Because if you worked out once a week all of 2026, and you didn't work out anything in 2025,
okay, wasn't that bad.
when you can do better, that's better.
Yes.
So, nobody's perfect, but this is great.
Yes.
So now it's time to officially check in with our good friend Ursula. Talk to us, Ursula.
Okay, and you all can also be held accountable. Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page. We do have a post. Gee's picture's on there. My picture's on there. Yes, I went to the gym twice, the second time last night. Okay. And it was because I knew we were going to do an accountability thing today that I went for a second time, even though I had napped in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I woke up, okay, true story.
Yeah.
I woke up at 6:30 yesterday. I did not know if it was 6:30 at night or 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I started panicking because if I'm just waking up at 6:30 in the morning, that's too late.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh no. And then I get up and I'm like, I can go to the gym.
Right.
So it was really cool. But what I love is that others are joining in with us. For example, Jess just posted. She said, not sure if lifting my 20-pound tabby counts, but it is a daily activity. Now, you need to do more than just one lift.
Right.
But I'm curious, what advice would you give me? Because I'm thinking, okay, I'm a woman over the age of 50. I have a limited amount of time. I'm not in the gym every day. So what would you be recommending? Because what I did was I lifted weights, so I did both arms and legs. Mm-hmm. And then I also did basically walking.
Awesome. I think that is great. I think what happens is that people that work out a lot, they try to push their workout agenda onto other people.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
And I would suggest, my encouragement is if you work out one time a week, that's awesome. And if you're in there for 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, that's awesome. Because the more you do it, you yourself will start. Now, wait, how many times you go this week?
Twice. That was, yes, exactly.
How many times you go last week?
Twice.
See?
Yeah.
Now,
but the first time I just did the one.
But now there's a part of you that's kind of you're competing with yourself.
Yes.
This journey isn't about other lanes. Think about track.
Yeah,
you're running track. Don't worry about other lanes.
Because I know there are people who are chuckling right now, like, really, Ursula? You're proud of just going twice? But twice is better than none.
Well, Ursula, you remember I wasn't even going to the gym.
I know.
I used to just go outside and walk. That's how I started.
Okay, I want to say this, though, because walking is a phenomenal kind of exercise.
Oh, yes, it is.
And I was in some of my best shape. I need to get back to where I'm walking 10,000 steps minimum a day because when I was there, I'll be honest, about 30 pounds less than I am today.
Yeah.
So that can be a great exercise, and it's something that you can do for life. The other things, though, that I've been trying to do, park farther away from where I need to go.
There you go.
I just keep doing that. When I am reading or show prepping, I have some hand weights, and so I will try to throw in that every once in a while. I don't do it always consistently, but even just trying to do a few lunges or a few more things, just moving.
Yeah. Now,
is very helpful.
Can I just tell you this? Now, as an observer of everything that you're doing, today is January 30th.
Mm-hmm.
You just talked more about working out right now than you did at the beginning of the month. Listen to what you're talking about. You're talking about lunges. You're talking about different things. And so that's the whole point. The more we try and talk about doing it, the more motivated we are to go about it. So yes, next Friday at 9:47, we're going to have another check-in.
Yes. Okay. Mike in Portland. Now, this is a flex.
What?
11 weeks till the Boston Marathon. He ran 35 and a half miles this week.
Okay, Mike.
Dang.
Okay, Mike.
Wow.
Wow.
On that same thing, it makes me think about, I was at Green Lake last weekend, and there was a girl turning 25, and she was running 25 miles for 25.
Wow.
Which is
nice.
a very interesting dedication.
Nick in Paulsbo says, I've been walking 5 miles a day, every single day, no matter what, for 2 years now.
That's incredible.
I'm conscious of what I eat, but not strict, and I've lost 150 pounds. To which I want to tell you,
incredible.
I went to when I was at Thanksgiving at my buddy Rob's house for Thanksgiving, and his uncle is 72 years old, and they said he's 72. And hey, everyone, he looks about 51. And I said to him, "What's your secret?" He has been walking 5 miles a day. That is his only thing he does, and he looks amazing.
And was it Nick you said in Paulsbo?
Nick in Paulsbo.
Okay, yeah, he's correct, because when I had that level of, not quite to where he's at, but the 10,000 steps a day, it does free you up to eat a little bit more.
It does. It does. Well, Ursula, hey, you just finished the month of January.
I know. I'm kind of feeling good about it.
11 months to go.
I know.
That's awesome. All right, everybody. We still have a show to do. We're done with Flex Fridays. Coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, Costco is making people mad again. We'll explain why next. Gee and Ursula.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
The Gee and Ursula Show.
There's two types of people. One's that use a washcloth. The other are bare hand bandits.
Hate to break it to you, but
Ursula, you a bare hand bandit?
Weekdays 9 to noon. Watch live on YouTube.
Cougars leaking and rocks are moving and movers creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-885-8877. 800-885-8877. Again, that's 800-885-8877.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Peter King. Massive doesn't even begin to describe the release of not hundreds of thousands, but millions of pages of documents relating to convicted sex abuser Jeffrey Epstein.
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche made the announcement.
Today we are producing more than 3 million pages, including more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images.
As with the previous batches, there are redactions.
To protect victims, we redacted every woman depicted in any image or video,
except for Epstein's confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell. Blanche said today's release marks the end of what he called a very comprehensive document identification and review process. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The Deputy Attorney General also spoke about the investigation into the Border Patrol shooting death of U.S. citizen Alex Pretty last weekend in Minneapolis.
It's an investigation. So an investigation necessarily means just that. It means talking to witnesses. It means looking at documentary evidence, sending subpoenas if you have to.
In a related development, the White House and Senate Democrats have made a deal to keep the government open while delaying long-term funding for ICE in the wake of the shooting. CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns on the Democrats' demands.
They want to tighten the rules around warrants. They want to end roving patrols of ICE agents. They also want to institute a uniform code of conduct and require federal agents to wear body cameras and ban face coverings.
Journalist Don Lemon has been arrested nearly 2 weeks after going into a church in Minneapolis with anti-ICE protesters who disrupted a service. CBS's Lilia Luciano.
Initially, the government wanted to charge 5 people in total, including him, for basically obstructing people's freedom of speech, ironically, freedom of worship. This is an act that's usually used for people who obstruct the entrance or vandalize, for instance, abortion clinics.
Lemon's attorney says he was simply doing his job. The man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson will not face the death penalty. CBS News legal contributor Caroline Polisi has more on the judge's ruling.
In the state case, they got that highest charge off the table, murder one, because they said this was not an act of terrorism. The judge agreed with them there. The life in prison, which was the highest sentence available on that charge, taken off the table in the state case. Now we have the death penalty taken off the table in the federal case. Huge win for the defense.
A man accused of impersonating an FBI agent has been arrested for trying to spring Luigi Mangione from a New York City jail. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 462 points. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to the official 48 Hours After Show post-mortem on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
We had a wild morning in Tukwila with a police stop and an officer-involved shooting. No injuries. We'll tell you all about it in just a moment. But first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. And our north-south routes are still seeing a little bit of crowding. I-5 northbound and southbound because of that Revive I-5 southbound slowing starts at about past Northgate around Pinehurst at this point, getting into Seattle. It's only going to cost you a few minutes. Northbound slowing is just a blip on the radar after the West Seattle Bridge. So let's look at the travel times. Federal Way to Seattle, 30 minutes. Linwood to Seattle, 24 minutes. Renton to Bellevue on 405. Northbound through the S-curves is a little bit slow, but it's still only 21 minutes. Bothell to Bellevue, also 21 minutes. This report brought to you by Bradley Johnson Lawyers and 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Serving the Pacific Northwest for over 30 years with hundreds of 5-star reviews. 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. The city of Seattle has been ordered to pay more than $30 million after a jury found it liable in the killing of 16-year-old Antonio Mays Jr. in 2020. Mays' father spoke with KIRO 7 TV.
Big-hearted, kind-hearted, and hard-working. That's the kind of, memory that should resonate when they think about my son. Somebody that when you see him coming, he cares about you.
Mays was shot in the chop zone and witnesses called 911, but paramedics refused to enter the area. What started with a traffic stop for a car with no license plates in Tukwila this morning ended with a chase, an officer-involved shooting, and an arrest for multiple felonies. Police say the driver ignored commands to stop and took off. Officers used a pit maneuver to hit the fleeing vehicle and disable it. At one point, an officer fired their gun, too, but nobody was injured, thankfully. Investigators found the car was stolen and booked the driver on a laundry list of charges. Shutting down to protest immigration crackdowns, that's what some businesses in Seattle are doing. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin.
You're not going to find the doors open here at Ben's Bread Company this morning. They're one of about 30 Seattle businesses shutting their doors today. The owners say that they want to do everything they can to stand in solidarity with Minneapolis. And again, they're one of dozens of businesses across Washington also participating, some of them posting on social media saying that this is in support of Minneapolis businesses that have been closed for weeks because of the ongoing protests of ICE agents. Many of these local shops also donated a portion of yesterday's earnings to those closed businesses as well.
Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is cooking up a new bet with Boston Mayor Michelle Wu as the Seahawks get ready to face the Patriots in Super Bowl 60.
Mayors Wilson and Wu are in serious negotiations over what they're willing to put on the line as the Hawks play the Pats next Sunday.
There's been some talk of Dungeness crab and lobster. Also some talk about, wearing each other's jerseys while riding public transit.
Wilson recently made good on her reverse bet, sending local coffee to L.A. Mayor Karen Bass.
In retrospect, it's a little strange because we won.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Let's check the weather. We are going to dry out this afternoon. High of 52, rainy tomorrow morning. It's 48 degrees in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Oh, it's Fresh Fridays here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning to you. Appreciate you all hanging out with us. Hey, before we get started, Ursula, I know what kind of 9 o'clock hour we had.
Yes.
What kind of 10 o'clock hour?
We're going to have more fun.
Okay.
More... What is it that we put cheddar cheese
on that broccoli?
On the broccoli.
Well, no, you're gonna serve the broccoli.
Yeah, of course.
And it's gonna be up to me whether or not there's cheddar cheese on there. Because sometimes I put just some salt and pepper on there.
All right. Well, we're counting on you. Hey, coming up at 10:30.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about Gen Z, and I always love those conversations. Yeah. There's something new we're finding out about Gen Z men that may come as a surprise. So we're going to get into that coming up at 10:30. And then, of course, we're going to do scenarios at 10:47. So this will be a fresher
I notice a thing. It seems like when Sophia is producing, we always have to have Gen Z conversations. And I've been losing followers on Instagram.
Oh.
Because
no, you're not.
Gen Z is mad at me, man.
Oh, yes. I think you've been unfair to Gen Z. So we're going to try to make up for that coming up at 10:30. Text us on our Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line at 888-973-5476, 888-973. KIRO, it's time for us to start.
What's new at 10?
We love you, Sophia.
Yeah.
Okay, some people are really mad at Costco this morning. The rotisserie chicken? Well, It is now at the center of a lawsuit.
A couple of women in California are suing Costco over its signature $4.99 Kirkland seasoned rotisserie chickens. They say labels claiming the birds are preservative-free are false. The company admits they do contain sodium phosphate and carrageenan for moisture retention, texture, and product consistency, but Costco says both additives are approved by food safety authorities. The plaintiffs claim customers have been cheated out of tens of millions of dollars. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
I'm feeling cheated. I've had many of those chickens.
Okay.
Come on.
Let's.
See, I got to get you to put some cheddar cheese on this.
Okay, I'm gonna do my best. Let's talk, y'all.
Okay.
First, did you really think that a chicken for $5 did not have stuff in it that preserves processed foods? Did you really think that you were getting 100% healthiness in $5?
Something that tastes that good is going to be super healthy. No. But it's healthier than a lot of things. That has nothing to do with it. This is a grift.
What's a grift?
These women coming forward now trying to say, oh, this is really harmful and we have lost. Do you feel like you've lost millions of dollars because you bought a fat chicken for less than $5 at Costco?
I'm fat.
No, you're not. First of all, I'm not about to yell that about myself.
I mean, wait a minute. Whoa. So
No.
wait, we have a disagreement right now.
Yes,
okay?
we do.
Let's work this out.
So
Let's
you
work
think-
this out.
I think this is baseless. And you think this is class action worthy?
Oh, okay.
So we haven't. I'm finding this out right now in real time.
In real time. Are you okay? And is it known that there are preservatives in there, the same stuff that they keep processed foods with? You're okay with that?
Sodium phosphate and carrageenan are FDA approved and they're widely used. They're not banned. They're not hidden. That's what makes the chicken fat.
So just because something is approved mean it's okay?
Yeah, well, it's preservatives. Preservatives, those are what make those. That's why it's moist. That's why it's not like a.
It's moist.
It doesn't look like a chicken that died of old age. It's. I don't even know that you can really technically call them a preservative. I'm sure I'm going to have dietitians after me right now. However, again, I think this is just a way. Like seriously, oh my gosh, Costco. Costco is a company that's doing really well. Costco is a company that does well by the community, and now we got to have these women come in and say those chickens that are really a loss leader, because you know Costco's not making money off the chicken.
No, and neither are they.
They're bringing in people with the chicken,
especially even the hot dog and the soda for $1.50. Now, but I want to, before we leave this topic,
yes,
even though I do agree with these ladies, I want them to lose. And the reason why I want them to lose and Costco to win is because there's a lot of families that depend on that $5 chicken. I used to be one of those.
And you know what's going to happen?
I need that $5 chicken.
You know what's going to happen if this class action lawsuit
That's what I'm
successful?
saying. That's my point.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to have now $15 chicken.
That's what I'm arguing both ways. Both can be true. You know what I mean? But I do know.
You think they have legit.
They do.
The full list is there. It says sodium phosphate and carrageenan.
Do you know how small that is? It's in small writing,
It's still
Ursula.
there.
Not everybody reads
Do you want it to have it like
print.
a nicotine label?
Absolutely.
Like this could kill you?
I
if you
want it to be the $4.99, and then next to it says, "Oh, low key, kind of like processed foods." And then you go ahead, and you make a decision. Then you know what I mean? But look, the chicken is good. It tastes good, and it's got a lot of families. Considering right now we are going through tough times.
I'm telling you right now, we're going to go through even tougher times if this prevails, because just watch. The price tag is going to be higher, and then you'll see why we can't have nice things. Exactly because of this. Okay, speaking of costs.
Okay.
What costs are hitting you the hardest? Do you complain every day about groceries, about rent, about your mortgage? Because there's a new poll out.
Okay.
And for most Americans, what they complain about is health care. And I don't know if that's a surprise to you.
No, considering we talked about health care, the insurance premiums were going to be gone. In your top stories in 2025, there were a bunch of times that you talked about how in 2026 the premiums would go up. Marjorie Taylor Greene was talking about insurance premiums going up. So no, Ursula, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so this is reporting from the Washington Post, and they had the news survey from a nonpartisan health policy group called KFF. And of those surveyed, 32% say they are very worried about their medical bills.
Yeah.
And they're more than worried about groceries, rent, or housing costs. But over the past 5 years, the cost of family health coverage has jumped by 26%, and it now averages about $27,000 a year. And yes, if you're lucky enough to have an employer that covers most of that, but there are still so many workers who are still paying about $7,000 out of pocket each year. They're facing higher deductibles. And even insured Americans are now thinking twice about getting medical care. I'm curious if you have put off something that you need to do, or you know that needs to be done, or have you ever done that in your lifetime because you're like, I either don't have insurance, or it's too expensive, I don't have enough to cover my deductible. I mean, there are more and more people making those decisions.
Yeah, before I had a job here, I was going the whole time without medical insurance. Full transparency, car insurance too. But there's a lot of times you make sacrifices. And unfortunately, like you said, Ursula, there will be people that are having to make a scary decision because they can't afford the insurance premiums. But as for me, no. I say the expense that gets me the most is what I tell you guys all about. The grocery store. There's something about the grocery store. Something
you
about,
don't have an option.
I mean, going to buy these bell peppers, right, that are just crazy expensive these days. Green onions that are crazy expensive. Steak, crazy expensive. How about you? What cost do you go and you feel it like, oh boy?
Well, I mean, just depending on what's going on. Obviously, the grocery store for sure. Even entertainment dollars, eating out for sure. And again, if this were 20 years ago, I would be talking about it very differently. I am blessed at the moment that I'm not struggling, but I worry about the Sophias and the Nicks of the world and my sons who, are facing a very different future than where I'm at right now. Again, the idea of someone having to forego a medical procedure or going into the doctor for fear that they can't afford it. I mean, I just got a bill, and I have insurance. I have great insurance, probably the best kind of insurance you can get. And you still get, it's irritating, especially at the beginning of the year when you get hit with, okay, you haven't covered your deductibles, and this is your part that you need to pay. It's
just did that this week with the dentist.
Right?
I said, why y'all charging me $79?
Yeah, because you
like, oh, yeah, you
haven't reached that level yet.
That level.
Yep, exactly. And so now those are getting higher.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, more and more people, that is a big concern, which is really scary.
Just had a text come in. I have not had insurance for a year because I was kicked off of Apple Health for making too much, while at the same time, I can't get on my employer's health care plan because it costs too much.
Wow.
Yeah. So another one comes in, health insurance, yep. Groceries, yep. Pet food, that's a big one for those that are in the rescue and foster world. It's hitting them hard. Foods that used to be $25 a case are now creeping up to $32 to $35 a case in the foster rescue world. That is big money.
Well, so this study basically confirms that, and I wish I could say there is an answer, there's a way out, but it is just unfortunate that you're going to have to make health choices based on what kind of insurance coverage you have, and that's just going higher.
You should ask Sophia. What's your biggest expense that bothers you?
I mean, I feel like, it's everything at this point. You say what's the biggest expense that bother you. Healthcare, I think, is a huge one for my generation. I have a lot of friends that are turning 26 this year or just turned 26.
Oh, off the parents' insurance.
Off the parents' insurance. Ooh-wee. And it hits like a truck immediately.
My youngest son's exactly there, yeah.
Yeah, especially if you don't have a job that either has a deductible that works for you or you haven't gotten a full-time position yet. It's very scary walking into that world right now, and it's not something easy to navigate at all.
Ernie and Kent just texted in and said Sandra just signed up for healthcare yesterday, over $1,000 per month just for her.
Yeah, it's real.
Yowzers.
It's real out here.
Yeah, it is. Okay, you know what else is real? Did you hear that President Trump is announcing a new Fed chair?
The president says he has chosen an outstanding person.
Somebody that is very respected, somebody that's known to everybody in the financial world, and I think it's going to be a very good choice.
There are reports the nominee will be former Fed official and conservative economist Kevin Walsh. Trump lashed out at current Fed Chair Jerome Powell again this week over the Fed's recent slow and steady approach to interest rate cuts. Powell's term as chair ends in May, but he can remain on the Fed's Board of Governors until 2028. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Now, I know that you have been really into all the financial world these days, and you have said that you would love to teach classes on finances if you weren't doing what you were doing, because you've gone so deep on it.
Right.
Why should anyone care about the Fed chair being switched out?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. You should be alarmed when politics is able to dictate what is going on with the Fed chair. The Fed chair, that is someone who is impartial, Republican, Democrat. They are someone who is overseeing, making sure we can do their best to keep inflation down, making sure that things are fair, the balance of what's happening here in America. When you now have someone, and I want to just say this, like, really simple. When you have someone who is now going to have an opportunity, even though he only gets one vote or whatever, it would take Congress to approve all those things, but we all know if whatever Donald Trump wants, he gets. When you have an opportunity to control and make sure that the interest rates start to go down, when that starts to happen, and we say we care about Gen Z, hey, Gen Z, house prices are getting ready to go up. Interest rates going down, that's going to make it so much better for the top 1-2% in this country. And so someone might be, now I'll say this. If you are someone that is in the home you bought, you are locked into a 6%, 7% interest rate, well, good for you if this happens, because what will end up happening is there's a good chance that interest rates, Donald Trump will do his best to make sure they lower. This will be great for you. I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about those that are like, hey, I've been waiting for interest rates to go down and now want to purchase a home. Well, understand, the best time to purchase a home is right now, if that was your plan. Because if your plan was to wait for interest rates to go down, the price of the home is getting ready to go up. So now you're going to be competing against all of these buyers. So that home that you wanted for, let's just say a number of $700,000, the asking price goes way up because there's more of a competition on there. I'm saying this. I don't think that Donald Trump should be able to dictate what is happening with our interest rate. And I think the future will be him being able to do that. So I just say this again. If you're someone that's locked into a higher interest rate and you've been waiting for this moment, good for you. I think this will be awesome once those interest rates drop. But what do I think that it could potentially do to inflation? Oh, it's going to go up. Prices of things will start to go up. So it's a scary thing.
I know that you're also very in tune with what's going on with the stock market. How is the stock market reacting to this news today?
Well, right now it was a Friday. It was it wasn't all that great. But, the combination of all of these layoffs, big tech laying off people, the conversation of potential of interest rates do go down. I do foresee in mid-2026, before the first quarter is over, people that have stock portfolios are going to be happy. And by the way, we're still in the infancy stage of AI, right? Like, you remember, it took the internet X amount of time for it to really get going. We're still in the first quarter of AI. There's still way more to happen for AI. So a lot of people that has invested in AI stock are probably going to make some money.
It is 10:23.
Oh!
We're at the end of our segment.
I bored everybody else talking about money.
The thing that's uniting Gen Z men isn't just sports anymore.
Well, we're going to tell you what it is and explain this surprising new trend. Gee Ursula.
my voice sound? Pretty good?
Better than I thought it would.
The John Curley Show.
I was really trying to work with my diaphragm.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
I was screaming as everybody else was screaming, and all of a sudden the muscles in my neck tightened up and it shut off blood in my head. I thought I almost passed out. I was so close.
What if you died?
Well, I would have been paying no attention to me. Like, get up, Dad.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Hey, let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Oh, great idea. But first, we should get a new TV. One of the top-rated brands. Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, I'll start shopping on the internet and then head over to the Warehouse Club.
Well, but if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at video only, not online or at the club.
Video only?
Yep. We can save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Or we'll be sorry.
Say goodbye to clogged gutters and climbing ladders. With K-Guard by Guardian, leaves stay out, water flows freely, and your home stays protected year-round. Enjoy true peace of mind. No maintenance and no rust. Choose from a variety of colors to match your home's look and boost your curb appeal. Ready for hassle-free gutters? Protect what matters most with Guardian, the original Make Your Roof Last company. Visit GuardianRoofing.com to learn more.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Brian's headed to the basketball court, but he's sick of this check engine light. So he goes to AutoZone for the free Fix Finder service,
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
where a friendly AutoZoner reads the light in just a few minutes and gives him a detailed report.
No big, just a loose gas cap.
And gets him to the court with a tight gas cap and tighter defense. The free Fix Finder service at AutoZone. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Ugh.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Nick, did you know this is called quit time? Did you know what that is?
I do not know.
That means right about this time of the year, people quit their New Year's resolutions.
Oh, kind of like last year.
Okay, never mind. The important thing is that both of us made a New Year's resolution that we would take better care of ourselves for each other. And we're holding to that.
We are not flaming out because...
Longevity Medical Clinic. So we get the support of Longevity. We told them what our goals were, and they're like, absolutely, we'll get you in line. So they support me, they support you, and then as a couple, they're making us accountable for the decisions we make. So we're not going to be quitting on these things. I can't remember what your New Year's resolution was around the house.
My New Year's resolution around the house was that I was going to try to get you to start putting things away.
And I was going to get you to actually learn how to cook a piece of chicken.
Oh, well, that's for next year.
Okay, fine. Either way, we've got a team behind us. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. There are just hours left until a partial government shutdown. The Senate needs to vote on a compromise funding measure that removes money for the Department of Homeland Security. Many Democrats, like Washington Senator Maria Cantwell, said they would not vote for it unless DHS funding was removed or reforms for that agency were added.
So I'm here to join my colleagues to say, what are we going to do to fix this system? What are we going to do to make sure that tragedies like this don't happen and that we investigate the truth, not make up something about the situation?
She's also calling for an independent investigation into the death of Alex Preddy, the second U.S. citizen to die in confrontations with federal agents in Minneapolis. Meanwhile, the Department of Justice has announced a civil rights investigation into that death. It's been rumored for some time. Now Seattle has announced the plan to prepare for it, a potential ICE surge. In part of the plan, Mayor Katie Wilson orders police to investigate reports of federal immigration activity. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Jack Bilyeu.
Wilson plans to issue an executive order prohibiting federal agents from using city-owned or controlled property for civil immigration enforcement. That includes parks, lots, buildings, and more. But is that even legal? We brought that question to a legal expert, Jeremiah Chin, who teaches constitutional law at the University of Washington.
Well, that's the fun part of lawyering, is that language is very specific.
Chin says the key language there is the word civil. According to him, that means the city could stop agents from detaining someone on city property simply for being undocumented, but if they have a criminal charge, it's a different story.
If they had a judicially authorized warrant for a person for violating a criminal law, that the city wouldn't be way less able to enforce and say, you are not able to enter this public park.
You can find more on mynorthwest.com. If you're traveling this weekend, don't forget your passport or enhanced driver's license. Starting Sunday, anyone who does not have Real ID compliant paperwork will have to pay $45 to get verified and get on their plane. Now let's get a check of KIRO News Radio traffic, and we continue to be Friday light for this midday. It's a speed limit drive all the way from Olympia through Tacoma. And you get all the way almost to downtown Seattle without really having to put on your brakes at all. A little bit of slowing on I-5 north and south, starting from the West Seattle Bridge in the south and starting from about Pinehurst in the north direction. But it's not going to cost you more than a couple of minutes. Lake bridges are clear. 405 is doing pretty good. A little bit of slowing after the S-curves on the Cannondale Hill area. But but really not a big deal. This report brought to you by Tacoma Home and Garden Show. The Tacoma Home and Garden Show presented by Puyallup Chocolates, January 29th through February 1st at the Tacoma Dome. For info and discount tickets, go to tacomahomeandgardenshow.com. We are drying out this afternoon, but more rain is on the way in the morning. Tomorrow, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. High tomorrow, 58. High today, 52. It's 48 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is 10:33 now on the Gee and Ursula Show on this Fresh Friday. And I'm going to tell you there's a lot of scrambling going around because we are just getting word of Epstein files being released. And we're talking about millions of pages. So as you can imagine, that is happening, Gee, while we're doing the show. So we have our newsroom looking into it.
I'm sure Sean in Des Moines is excited about that.
Well, we need to make sure. I mean, there are a lot of people. I want to know what's in the Epstein files. And so we don't know. They said millions of pages are being released. What's in those pages? So you are going to be hearing about that. Want to point out it's happening on a Friday, but we will make sure that it's not going to be one of those news dumps that you don't get to hear because there's going to be a weekend in between. So we will try to bring you any information as soon as we get information about it. But right now, we're going to talk about Gen Z again because there's something new that is uniting young men.
Okay.
And no, it's not sports. It's not alcohol.
Is it sports
not
gambling?
Sports betting.
Oh, okay.
Although there's a lot of that going on.
Is it working 2 days a week?
You're so bad.
No, I'm just asking.
You are so bad. No, it's parenthood.
Oh, okay.
So according to Vox, there is this surprising trend of Gen Z men wanting kids. Actually, they want to be parents more than women do. And this actually is from a 2023 Pew poll. 57% of young men between the ages of 18 to 34 said they want kids, compared with only 45% of women. Now, just think about that and think of how that could be a problem. And the reason I say it's a problem because I'm sorry, I have two young men in my life, right? You know that I have one son who's 29 and one who's 25. One's in a relationship and one is dating. They both want kids. And one of the things that I have found out is that there are a lot of young women who just have no interest in having kids, or it's like, maybe.
Okay. I'm going to ask this to you, Ursula. Why do you think women want kids less today than yesterday?
One more time? Sorry.
Why is it that you think, because you just gave us the numbers and you said right now women between the ages of 18 and 30, 31 or whatever, they are like 40-something% less than men. So my question is, that number used to be the opposite.
Yes.
Where women wanted kids. So my question, why do you think that women want kids less today than they did yesterday?
Because they're more career focused. They're not of the belief that I need to stay at home. They are getting more opportunities. And yeah, I think, and we talked about this, looking at the reverse, we were looking at it as a lot of men are feeling a little bit lost because, wait a minute, what's our place when we're not the sole breadwinner or the main breadwinner, et cetera, et cetera. And now it's like women are saying, yeah, I can take it, I can leave it. And apparently now they're saying I can take it or I can leave it when it comes to having kids.
You know, and that's what brings out the insecurity in some men. That insecurity part where they go and they try to date or friend or court or however you want to put it. And their insecurities appear because the woman, I got my own career. I can make my own money. I don't have to be what used to be 40 years ago, whereas they were dependent on the man. More and more women, you just answered it, are career driven. And right now we have men who don't know how to handle that. They don't know how to handle when, oh my goodness, the woman has power. because for so many years, the woman didn't have power. And so it was real easy to be the man with power, but it's a little tougher to be the man without the power.
Well, interesting, though, in this survey, and I'm just because a different survey that was done in 2025, so much more recently, well, not much more, but one was 2023. Now this one's 2025, found that more Gen Z men are gravitating to more traditional gender roles, with 28% of Gen Z men saying a stay-at-home dad was less of a man, compared with 25% of millennials and just 12% of baby boomers. So, yeah, they're interested in being parents, but they're not interested in actually raising them.
Yeah.
Raising the kids.
Yeah. Before I hate to bring in some bad news, Ursula.
What's that?
But you guys remember the movie Home Alone? You remember the mom? Her real name is Catherine O'Hara. She has passed away. And if you guys remember Schitt's Creek and all that, Catherine O'Hara, passed away at the age of 71 years old. So, again, if you've seen the movie Home Alone and she says, Kevin, right? Yes, the mom, she has passed away.
Oh, that's
really
definitely sad news.
I didn't mean to, I don't know what to say, but just want to bring that up. All right, Ursula. Time for good old scenarios where we have an opportunity to. Oh, by the way, I got a good scenarios that I think that both you and I are going to disagree on. We're going to do that next. Gee and Ursula.
Holy smokes! For 40 years, he's been part of the soundtrack of summer across the Pacific Northwest.
The Griffeys with back-to-back home runs!
KIRO Newsradio congratulates Rick Riz.
Everybody scores!
Season 41 may be his last, but it promises to be one to remember.
The modern-day Bambino, Cal Raleigh.
We can't wait. From KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters. Like that family movie night your daughter can't live without. Yeah, can't do that. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
DUI? Felony charge? Trust Bradley Johnson Lawyers and 1-800-DUI-OA. Over 30 years serving the Pacific Northwest and hundreds of 5-star reviews. Every mistake has a solution at 1-800-DUI-OA.
1-800-DUI-OA! I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean. And there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. Their max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast!
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
Do you ever lose your balance or feel dizzy for no apparent reason? Do you hear ringing in your ears or have migraines? These are all signs you could have a problem with your inner ear or vestibular system. To learn more, call the Vestibular Disorders Helpline at 800-837-8428. That's 800-837-8428. Sponsored by the Vestibular Disorders Association.
Guys, your New Year goals start now. Get limited time savings on our most popular treatments at Revive Men's Health. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to see if you qualify to save hundreds.
Remember that time we were driving through France and for some reason we didn't have GPS?
Oh, for some reason? That reason would be that you didn't plug your phone in because you didn't have a charger.
Yeah, because I let you borrow my phone so you could call your mother, and you're on the phone for like 30 minutes telling her where we are. But that aside, we didn't know where we were going. We did fight a little bit because we didn't know where we were going. I think that Longevity Medical Clinic is like the GPS for us. They tell us which turns to make. They tell us which directions to go, right?
They do. And now I feel like the two of us together have a clear path and we have more control over our own health care.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to get out of the car and try to find information somewhere. It's all right there. As you're aging, all the little sort of turns you have to make in order to be able to have lots of energy and to enjoy your life. So for as far as I'm concerned, Longevity Medical Clinic is our GPS. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. The nicotine in e-cigarettes is addictive and can harm brain development. That's why I worry about teens who try e-cigarettes. Many young people use pod-based e-cigarettes like Juul, which have high levels of nicotine. And because teens' brains are still developing, they can quickly become addicted. The tobacco industry uses fruit and candy flavors to attract young people, often turning them into lifelong users. For more, visit healthychildren.org.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. $1 million homes have been a topic today. So
Okay, she's laughing because I got a text message. Someone, and I just responded to this person because someone, the first time they text, or it's a first time they're texting with this particular phone, but someone really hates my guts. And someone just went on and on about how I lack self-awareness and how I just sound so entitled, and just went on. And I'm laughing because, like, they even said that I go on all these luxury vacations. Dude, you know that I fly coach.
Hey.
And I stay at places where they still offer those powdery eggs for breakfast.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because
well, I am too.
Because usually these text messages are reserved for me, and today they came in for Ursula. Doesn't usually happen.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get I'm really laughing. I'm having a fight with my boyfriend, and I'm sure I'm right on this, but he agreed that I would bring it to your show, and we let you and your audience sell it. Over the holidays, he accidentally butt dialed his ex. I know because I saw when he was on his phone that she was his last call. He insists that it was a butt dial, but I did a little investigation when his phone was unattended, and the call lasted about 11 minutes.
Oh, that's not a butt dial.
And it happened at 12:30 a.m. when he was out with his buddy. He swears it was accidental and he never actually talked to her. So I asked him to show me his social media and text messages. He refused and told me I need to trust him more, but I'm just not sure he's trustworthy. What should I do here? 888-973-5476 is the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Ursula, you have to bat first.
I think this is one of those situations where you need to trust your gut. If you didn't have any doubts about it, you would accept the story and like, okay, yeah, I've butt dialed somebody. This happened with you.
Mm-hmm.
And the case would be over and it would be done, right?
Yeah.
But you and your gut know that there are other reasons and probably other signs where you think he's not quite over that ex. And
Boom.
that does not happen at 12:30 a.m.
Boom.
for 12 minutes or
Boom.
11 minutes at a friend's house.
Boom.
And so you need to listen. Yeah.
You know what? I want to hear what Sophia has to say about this.
My thoughts on this are this. Obviously, a midnight call like that is definitely what we like to call drunk calling your ex. And it's not a mistake. And drunk thoughts are just sober thoughts that you're afraid of acting out.
Wow.
That was the best answer.
I've always said Gen Z is really smart. Now, they might only show up to work 2 days out of the week, but they're really smart.
Hey, now.
And Sophia, that was a great answer. Because, Ursula, that's right. 12:30 a.m., an 11-minute butt dial? Nah, not happening. But I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
And this is true. If I accidentally butt dial an ex, I think everybody in the universe knows that was for sure a butt dial. I have absolutely zero. When I say zero, a zero reason to text an ex or call an ex. Never, Ursula.
Unless you're trying to return like a cat or, you know what I mean? I mean, like if it's your ex and then you've got some
your cat's at home.
your unfinished business, but not at 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah, but
I mean, that's just not happening.
Yeah, but this is
without being intentional. And Sophia, you nailed it with the drunk text or the drunk call.
Yeah, drunk thoughts are sober thoughts that you just have
we're
too afraid to do.
Yes.
Yeah. And by the way, I butt dialing people is just dub. Right.
Okay, now that does happen
It is
to
very
me.
possible, though.
With my purse,
terrifying.
with my very full purse. Like sometimes when I'm grabbing around my phone, I'm like, oh no, sorry, didn't mean to. Or sometimes doing the, ask and using your voice.
Right.
And
Voice,
and it ends up. One time I ended up calling somebody who I haven't talked to probably in a very long time, and his name sounded a lot like my husband's name. Not an ex, but I'm just saying.
Right.
A colleague that I haven't talked to in a long time.
Now, before we move on, there has to be, like Ursula always say when we talk about this, there has to be more to it, right? A butt dial happened 12:30 in the morning, 11 minutes. There's something else to support your reasoning to think that it was more than a butt dial. So it has to be more than that. Sophia, you definitely nailed the answer. Brother Nick, what do you got, bro?
Well, I think the art of the butt dial doesn't have limits or boundaries. Sometimes you find out 30 seconds in, others it goes for minutes or hours on end, but it does seem suspicious for who's being called and at what time, being the ex and at 12:30 in the middle of the night. So I would chalk it up to the drunk text or call, and I wouldn't be surprised if later the next time isn't a so-called butt dial and it's intentional if the schmoozing did go well that late night. I've gotten butt dials before, and it's more in the middle of the day, and it only lasts, I don't know, a few seconds or so, and then they text you, oops, butt dial. But this one, there's a little too many eyebrows raised.
You know what? That's a very good point. But you're right, Nick. Butt dials don't happen at 12:30 a.m.
And I was also going to add, usually a butt dial is to someone who's recently been in your call log.
That's another thing.
So how did she randomly get hit? Like, how did you click that name out of any name?
Another great point, Sophia. Tony and Buckley says, come on, Ursula, go back to your default answer. He's just not into you. That's correct.
All right. We got a lot of stuff going on in the 11 o'clock hour. Let's see here. What's got? We got to agree to disagree. That's going to happen at 11:30. And then we also will recap some of our top stories of the day. Next, Gee and Ursula.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10 and 7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. TurboTax helps you get your biggest refund, and then Credit Karma helps you do more with it. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Download the KIRO News Radio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO News Radio app.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-885-8877. 800-885-8877. Again, that's 800-885-8877.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
Chris Domine is a husband and a father. Chris is an athlete. Chris is even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris was facing a very different story because his kidneys were failing.
Basically, the doctor said, if you don't get a kidney transplant and if you don't do dialysis, you are going to die.
Fortunately, Chris received a second chance at life, made possible by an organ donor.
You know, your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
More than 100 million people in America are registered organ, eye, and tissue donors. People of every age and ethnicity, because they believe it's the right thing to do. Imagine what you can make possible by leaving behind the gift of life. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
9 days until Super Bowl 60. The only station where you hear Steve Label call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Emmy-winning comedian Catherine O'Hara of Beetlejuice and SCTV fame has died at 71. She most recently was in the studio on Apple TV, and back in the 90s also played Kevin's mom in Home Alone.
What else could we be forgetting?
Kevin! O'Hara was also in the TV show Schitt's Creek.
Next step is to fold in the cheese.
Her agency says that she died at home today after a brief illness. The Justice Department has released additional documents from the Jeffrey Epstein files. The latest batch has been uploaded to the DOJ repository and includes tens of thousands of pages of material, including photos, videos, court records, FBI and DOJ documents, news clippings, and emails. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche.
To protect victims, we redacted every woman depicted in any image or video, with the exception of Ms. Maxwell. We did not redact images of any men, unless it was impossible to redact the woman without also redacting the man.
Some files include prominent figures like President Trump and former President Bill Clinton, who have not been tied to any wrongdoing. His attorney confirmed to CBS News that former CNN anchor Don Lemon was arrested overnight. It comes nearly 2 weeks after Lemon was at an anti-immigration protest that disrupted a service at a church in Minnesota. Sources say the FBI and Homeland Security investigations, a law enforcement agency within the Department of Homeland Security, were involved in the arrest. More students than usual are not showing up for classes in Detroit. WWJ's Charlie Langton explains why.
The superintendent of Detroit's public schools, Nikolai Vitti, says absenteeism in the city's largely Hispanic area is up because of the perception of ICE.
Where we're at is an un-American space.
One Southwest Detroit mother acknowledges parents are keeping their kids home from school.
Of course they're not going to send their kids to school if they think they're going to be picked up from the school or picked up in front of taking their kids to school.
The superintendent says no ICE agents have attempted to enter any school building. Charlie Langton for CBS News, Detroit.
A judge in New York has ruled that Luigi Mangione will not face the death penalty if he's convicted on federal charges of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The judge has dismissed the federal firearms charges that carry the possibility of the death penalty. Defense attorney Karen Agnifilo.
Double jeopardy is a big thing here, right? Mr. Mangione is being charged in 3 different cases for one incident. So we're going to continue to fight.
Mangione has pleaded not guilty to both federal and state charges. Stocks are down on Wall Street. The Dow is down 241 points. NASDAQ has fallen 173. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to CBS News Roundup on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
We got some Seahawks hype from reporter Luke Ducey. We'll give you that in just a moment. But first, KIRO News Radio traffic. And we're continuing to look pretty good. We're a speed limit drive almost from Olympia all the way into downtown Seattle. But we do have that pesky slowing on some of the north-south I-5 through downtown on the Ship Canal Bridge. But the southbound slowing has reduced a lot. We are a little bit Friday light. So Northgate, you start to be slow, but it's not very high volume right now. You are pretty locked up from Northgate into Green Lake, and then after that, it loosens up significantly. 405, not too bad. A couple of snags through the S curves, but it's really not costing you more than about a minute on your drive. Federal Way to Seattle, 30 minutes. Linwood to Seattle, about 25 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is 21 minutes. So is Bothell to Bellevue. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Police in Tukwila started the morning with a car chase and officer-involved shooting. Amazingly, there were no injuries. So here's what happened. Officers tried to stop a car with no license plates around 3:20 a.m., but police say that driver ignored them and took off. At one point, an officer fired their gun, but again, no one was injured. They finally stopped that suspect using a pit maneuver. Turns out they were under the influence, had a suspended license, and were driving a stolen car. A nationwide strike is planned for today. Businesses across the country will close to protest the fatal shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minnesota by federal officers.
Here in Seattle and across western Washington, dozens of businesses will be closed. In Seattle, the Pink Door says it did not have enough time to organize its business for a full shutdown, but it will be donating 10% of its sales for the entire day to the National Immigrant Justice Center. The Trump administration maintains agents acted in self-defense in the Minnesota shootings. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Cyclists are organizing their own protests today and tomorrow. This evening, the Critical Mass Riders will meet at 6:30 around at Westlake Center, and they are dedicating their ride today to Alex Preddy. Tomorrow, several rides around the region will be vigils for Preddy's death as well. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is coming clean on why she chose not to send Starbucks coffee to pay off her super bet with the mayor of Los Angeles.
Mayor Wilson's decision came after calling for a boycott of Starbucks during a demonstration over union contract negotiations. Instead, she sent LA Mayor Karen Bass a basket of coffee from a small local retailer.
Why not Starbucks coffee?
Well, I just love supporting our small local roasters.
Wilson, being the good sport, explained her bet with LA was a reverse bet, with the winner sending the goods. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Quick weather check. High 52 today. Rain is tapering off. We're going to have rain tomorrow morning, but it does taper off in the afternoon. It's 48 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning. Happy Fresh Fridays. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. I think you can tell it's the 11 o'clock hour
okay,
on a Friday.
Wait. Can you guys not hear how I just started this hour?
Yeah, I do. It's markedly different from 9 o'clock.
If you've been listening for a long time on the show, it's 11 o'clock. What's on G. Scott's mind?
Third base. Home plate. The weekend.
Okay, Ursula, what kind of 11 o'clock hour are we going to have?
Well, coming up at 11:30, this is actually in honor of you.
Okay.
When we do agree to disagree, we're going to ask the question, when is it appropriate to ask for favors?
Oh, boy.
Has anyone heard that G's heading to the Super Bowl?
Hey, do you have any extra Super Bowl tickets lying around? Oh, yeah, let me look up under the mattress, up under the bed.
Okay, text us on our Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line. It is 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO.
top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
The Justice Department is opening the vault on Jeffrey Epstein, releasing millions of pages of records today, along with thousands of videos and images tied to its long-running investigation into Epstein's sex trafficking operation and his ties to powerful people.
We erred on the side of over-collection of materials from various sources to best ensure maximum transparency and compliance, which necessarily means that the number of responsive pages is significantly smaller than the total number of pages initially collected. That's why we're releasing more than 3 million pages today and not the 6 million pages that we collected.
That is Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche.
The 2,000 videos and 180,000 images are not all videos and images taken by Mr. Epstein or someone around him. They include large quantities of commercial pornography and images that were seized from Epstein's devices, but which he did not take or that someone around him did not take.
There are also interview transcripts, photographs, financial documents, travel records, phone logs. Obviously, this is all coming out now. Gee, you and I have not had a chance to look at any of these things. But among the names that appear in the files are Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Britain's Prince Andrew, and attorney Alan Dershowitz, all men who had documented social or professional contact with Jeffrey Epstein. But the Justice Department is stressing that being mentioned does not mean criminal wrongdoing, and neither the President, Trump, or former President Clinton have been accused of crimes connected to Epstein. Now, Prince Andrew has denied wrongdoing, but he did settle a civil lawsuit that was brought by one accuser. So these files do shed light on how Epstein recruited underage girls, how victims described the abuse, and how law enforcement repeatedly failed to stop it even after the warnings. But what is still being withheld is any identifying details of victims and anything that could compromise open cases, again, as you can imagine. But Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime associate or girlfriend, remains the only person who's been convicted, and she's now serving 20 years in federal prison.
Yeah. From here on out, I just want you all to know, Ghislaine Maxwell will be the only one that will have to be held accountable for Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. Nobody, I predict nobody will be held accountable for this. And the reason why is because a lot of people don't care, especially Congress, especially the DOJ, especially this federal administration. So when you have the powerful that don't care, when you have the billionaires that don't care, it doesn't matter what the working class says. It doesn't matter what the common people say. I'm going to say it now, and I'll say it going forward, Ursula. It does not matter. The Epstein files don't matter. We have learned that. Donald Trump told us years ago, I could shoot someone and still not lose votes or followers. And that's it. And I know I didn't mean to sound really bad. I just want to just say what it is. But that's just what it is.
I know you said it's not going to matter. You have mentioned, even yesterday, you were mentioning, let's not lose sight of the Epstein files. Now the Justice Department is releasing heavily redacted. And again, we haven't had it. You and I have not had a chance to even look at any of this. But they are releasing, and they're saying that this is basically what is required of them to release without jeopardizing any of the open cases.
Hey, Ursula. Mm-hmm. You and I are spending fresh Fridays talking this up. It's not like you and I are going to ignore it, because that's not what you and I do. We tackle on this show hard topics, very tough topics. We'll bring it up, and then we give an opinion. You brought it up. Thank you for doing that, and I'm giving you the opinion. Mm-hmm. And if next week there's more stuff, you'll bring it up again, and I'll give you the opinion. And the opinion is clear. Nobody will be held accountable for this, because the rich people, the Elon Musk, the Bezos, the Tim Cooks, all of the billionaires, Congress, the Department of Justice, Donald Trump, who's a part of it, they don't care. This is not a deal breaker for them as long as they continue to make money. They don't care.
And I will say that, again, I don't care if the rich people don't care. I, as a member of the public, as someone who does this for a living, also to report information. And I know that that's not what you're saying. You're saying the people in power are not going to care and nothing's going to happen. I think it's imperative that this information, I don't care if Bill Clinton or if it's only Democrats who did wrongdoing, again, it should not matter what letter is attached to the person who may or may not have, or may, let's just say, we're interested in knowing who was involved in sex trafficking, who was involved in pedophilia, who was involved. I mean, there are so many victims waiting for justice. And this has been too long. And people will say, why didn't it happen during the Biden administration? It should have happened a long time ago. We need to stop protecting criminals.
Biden couldn't do anything because the DOJ was protecting it then. Let's go back even further. When Epstein got the sweetheart deal in the state of Florida, when Epstein got just house arrest when it happened. The reason why nobody's been held accountable for this, because let's be real, rich people and billionaires, they have their own set of rules, right? This is why I know during Super Bowl week, nothing will be coming up about what happened in the alleged case of when Robert Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots, was in there. And remember the whole massage parlor situation? Remember how that story went away? Look, it's okay. We can admit billionaires can do what they want. They don't have any rules. They don't have to follow the law. And you, Ursula, are doing your job by bringing it up, and I'm just doing my job. That's what they pay me to do, to give my opinion on that. Now, if I thought, hey, somebody's going to be held accountable, I would say it. But there's nothing that shows me today. The only thing a lot of people in his base care about, they just care about ICE going to harass people. They care about ICE and calling people domestic terrorists that are citizens or non-citizens. They want to set a narrative that people that are undocumented in this country are the ones that you should be afraid of and scared of. But there's not one undocumented person in the Epstein files, and we'll never continue to see someone held accountable.
I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. And I want to emphasize again that even though they say these names appear, and these are names that were circulated, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Donald Trump, Alan Dershowitz, those names are not new. And again, the Justice Department is saying that just because they are mentioned in there and they may have partied with them does not mean that they are guilty of criminal wrongdoing. But I would want every one of those documents to be gone through with a fine-tooth comb. And if there is anybody who did commit a crime that can be proven in court, they should be proven in court and they shouldn't get a pass. Okay, let's move on because we've got the Super Bowl coming up in how many days now?
9 days.
9 days. Mm-hmm. And guess what?
What's up?
Sports betting is off the charts right now.
Oh, say what?
In fact, Americans are expected to wager a record $1.7 billion next week through casinos and online sports books. That is a nearly 30% increase from last year. This is according to the American Gaming Association. And this does not include bets that are placed through federally regulated prediction market platforms. So while those have grown in popularity, analysts say their impact on traditional sports betting is still limited. So shares of major sportsbook companies like DraftKings and FanDuel's parent company have dipped in recent months, but industry experts say the online sportsbooks still hold the key advantages. Of course, you see all the advertising. They also have more promotions, wide variety of bets, and official partnerships. I think that's the big one. The official partnerships with the NFL. That's kind of the dark side of all of this.
You know what? I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to spend this rest of the time. If you guys want to bet and you want to see the continued increase in sports betting, even though there has been reported wide problems when it comes to the sports betting, we all know that the NFL, the NBA, MLB, all of the major sports franchises, they're all making money off of this. DraftKings, and you turn on the TV, you hit the QR code, Ursula, and you get... Ursula, have you ever made a sports bet?
No. Well, my betting and my gambling, it goes as far as hitting a button on a machine. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I think I've done one one, what do you call that when you do like during March Madness, when you do the brackets?
Yeah, the brackets. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've done that one time, and I had to have someone else fill my brackets for me. I wouldn't have a clue. How about you? Well, you can't.
No, I can't.
You can't even. You can't even. Yeah.
I wish.
And you can't because of your association with the Seahawks. That would be. It's been made very clear to you. That would be a fireable thing, right? I mean, that is just like you aren't doing it.
That would be great.
Yes.
But what's interesting is, I wish, and I know you guys are gonna say I'm a no fun person. I wish, Ursula, all gambling was just held for Las Vegas like it used to be.
I know.
Both sports gambling and the casino. I wish when all the people used to have to go. Remember when people used to have to fly to Atlantic City, and then there was that rich guy that had all those buildings in Atlantic City, and they would go there. I don't know what happened to those buildings.
I've never been to Atlantic City.
I don't know what happened
I have
there.
been to Vegas. Now, Vegas, because there's so much other competition, Vegas is just seeing a drop.
A big time drop.
They're seeing a drop because gambling is everywhere.
It's everywhere.
But let's go to this whole thing with sports betting. I know that it really bums you out because does it change the whole flavor of the game for you?
It has nothing to do with the game. The reason why it bums me out is because even without having money on the game, sports can bring an adrenaline inside of you like no other. And now you add betting to that. Like, so many people I know now sports bet. Like, it is so normal to hear someone say, oh my goodness, I got to check my parlay. Right? That's a thing right now. Whether it's $5, $10, $20, and people are constantly betting, and that's where it starts. So my thing is we know that there is going to be a real big problem from this. What breaks my heart is the help that these NFLs, the NBAs are doing to help with this problem. Because they get to profit off of it, there will be a lot of people in America that are going to be struggling. We already had a gambling issue. Now we're going to increase to that. And then there's some states you can just do it from your phone, Ursula.
And I'm curious because you said, well, you remember when it used to be just limited to Atlantic City and Vegas, but it wasn't. I mean, what did Pete Rose get in trouble for?
Well,
gambling has been
used to have to have a bookie. You used to have to have someone that, so if you didn't go to Las Vegas, and maybe some of you all listening, maybe you had a bookie, right? Maybe you had somebody you can go get a marker from where you can like, hey, I want to put X amount because I know you. I'm going to put 10,000 on this game, even though you haven't exchanged money yet. But it's just dangerous. And I just think it's easier now. It's so much easier now, Ursula. You can take your cell phone, you watch a commercial, QR code comes, and they say, hey, go ahead and make your first bet with DraftKings or FanDuels, and you make a $5 bet, we'll give your account $100.
I think we're going to look back at this time because it really has been an explosion of gambling. And I haven't had a chance to look at it for this conversation today, but just the number of young men, especially, who get introduced to it at such a young age anymore because it is so attached to sports and it is so easy to do.
At the same time, what are we always talking about for Gen Z in a young generation? How hard it is to buy a home. And now we want to give them something else. Hey, Brother Nick, I just need to ask you, am I way off right now with this discussion about your generation in sports betting?
No, I mean, I think even when we talked about it in like years past before, I think we've been talking about it now for like 2 or 3 years, but I feel like it's reached a point now where it's getting worse and worse, and more guys are getting into it just because, like you said, there's so much marketing now, and they keep funneling more and more money into it to the point now where you watch a game, whether it's Sunday Night Football or on ESPN Monday night, it's a part of their pregame like programming, and it's not just the advertising. It's the actual sportscaster saying, "Here's my quote unquote expert bets that you should that they imply that you should go out and place your money on. And there's really, at the end of the day, no such thing as an expert professional wager, because you really don't know what is going to happen unless you're in G's position, which you shouldn't be betting, where you have that insider information.
Boom.
But they're not doing that. They're going out there and saying, this is the best one you should pick. And when in fact it's misleading. They don't know what they're talking about.
Well, I do have some figures now. So in 2025, 21% of men in the age group between 18 to 30 reported online sports wagers, and that was up from 9% just 3 years earlier.
And it's only getting.
And I'm sorry, but 21%, I think that's low.
Heidi and Everett, thank you for this. I really appreciate it. And you guys remember how the opioid crisis started. You remember a loved one having back pain, problems. You remember someone who had surgery and they started to take a Percocet or Vicodin to help them with the pain. And they started to oversubscribe them and they started to get hooked on it. This sports betting is literally exactly like that. And so whether it's in 10 years, we're going to have a crisis. But we don't want to stop it.
No, it's a crisis right now. Calls to the National Problem Gambling Helpline from states with legalized sports betting rose nearly 150% between 2017 and August of 2025. And studies showed, get this, 50% basically of intramural and 30% of Division I athletes play fantasy sports for money. Hello?
It's crazy. It's like standing at the river and these babies are in the river and you keep having to save the babies. And then finally, the Sophia that's with you walks down the river and says, hey, can you guys please stop throwing babies in the river? Like, stop this now before it gets even worse. All right, agree to disagree next. Gee Ursula.
What's my voice sound? Pretty good?
Better than I thought it would.
The John Curley Show.
I was really trying to work with my diaphragm.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
I was screaming as everybody else was screaming, and all of a sudden the muscles in my neck tightened up and it shut off blood in my head. I thought I almost passed out. I was so close.
What if you died?
Well, I would have been paying no attention to me. Like, get up, Dad.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Sometimes we hang on to our old attorneys and coaches too long. They've been around, they've done good work. But when the legal game changes, you need a team that is hungry to win now. At Bible Law Group, we're that faster, hard-hitting legal team, ready to fight for every inch in the courtroom. With over 40 million closed for our clients, we know how to win, and we're ready to take on the biggest legal case of your career with you. Don't stick with a playbook that's gone stale. Switch to the legal team that's ready to win now. Let Bible Law Group be your linebacker in the courtroom. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
This winter, drive with confidence in a Subaru from Subaru of Puyallup. From rainy commutes to icy roads, Subaru's legendary all-wheel drive and advanced safety are built for our winters. Subaru of Puyallup is known for something even better, a stress-free car buying experience. No pressure, no games. Just friendly Subaru experts helping you find the right vehicle at the right price. Start shopping now and see our stress-free pricing exclusively at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership, part of the Harnish Auto family.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. DayandNight.net.
As soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 877-CARS-4-KIDS. That's CARS with a K to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your...
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Ever wonder how much energy it takes to power your life? Streaming shows, running appliances, even using AI to plan your next trip?
A lot, and it's growing fast.
So we need more energy, and it has to be clean and reliable.
Exactly. That's why Energy Northwest is exploring new ways to keep power flowing sustainably to meet the rising demand.
All this new technology is exciting, but we need the energy to keep up.
And Energy Northwest is making it happen.
Where do I learn more?
Energy-Northwest.com.
Energy Northwest, powering our clean energy future.
Feeling cold? Your windows may be the issue. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors for 25% better energy efficiency and up to 30% energy bill savings. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. A deal to keep the government open may be collapsing. Yesterday, reports surfaced that Senate Republican, at least one of the holdups, our parent network CBS News says he will not approve of the compromise until the Senate addresses legislation on sanctuary cities and states. The leader of the Detroit Public Schools says ICE activity is contributing to absenteeism in classrooms. Here's WWJ's Charlie Langton.
The superintendent of Detroit's public schools, Nikolai Vitti, says absenteeism in the city's largely Hispanic area is up because of the perception of ICE.
I think all of you agree that where we're at is an un-American space.
One Southwest Detroit mother acknowledges parents are keeping their kids home from school.
Of course they're not going to send their kids to school if they think they're going to be picked up from the school or picked up in front of taking their kids to school. Who wants to be harassed, even if they're legal?
The superintendent says no ICE agents have attempted to enter any school building. Charlie Langton for CBS News, Detroit.
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche at a news conference today marking the end of what the Justice Department says was the final release of its Epstein files. Blanche responded this way when asked whether some documents were withheld to protect certain individuals.
I can assure that we complied with the statute, we complied with the act, that we did not protect President Trump, we didn't protect or not protect anybody.
Blanche said some Epstein documents were not released today because of ongoing investigations or for other reasons allowed by the Congressional Epstein Transparency Act. Now it's time to check your traffic, KIRO Newsradio traffic, and we are looking fairly good still. I don't see anything blocking, which means it's nearly a speed limit drive from Olympia all the way to gosh, the border with Canada. We do have some slowing in and out of downtown Seattle on I-5, but it's really not that much. The biggest issue is the merge from the West Seattle Bridge onto I-5. That's going to give you a frustrating 5-minute delay, and then you've got some higher volumes, but it's only costing you about a minute to get through Seattle, more than it normally would. I do see now a collision on the 520 bridge off-ramp eastbound to Lake Washington Boulevard and Montlake. It looks like there is a delay getting off the 520 bridge, but again, not much of an issue at this point, and the lake bridges are clear otherwise. This report brought to you by Tacoma Home and Garden Show. The Tacoma Home and Garden Show presented by Puyallup Chocolates, January 29th through February 1st at the Tacoma Dome. For info and discount tickets, go to tacomahomeandgardenshow.com. We are drying out this afternoon from our lingering showers. We're going to have some rain tomorrow morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon with a warming trend over the next week. It's 48 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is 11:34, and you are listening to the Gee and Ursula Show. Text us on our Muckleshoot Casino Resort Casino text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. It is time for us to agree to disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves, just really go at it.
Okay, well, we've been having this conversation for a bit. It's no surprise when you're doing well and you've got things going on, people come out of the woodwork, asking for help, asking for ends to certain things. But the thing is there a time when it is appropriate to do it? Let's face it, we are in a networking world, and oftentimes people are told, closed mouths don't get fed. I was telling G yesterday, sometimes people just gotta, you gotta shoot your shot. You never know what you're gonna get. But it is, in a lot of situations, also very inappropriate to reach out to someone if you haven't spoken to them to 6-7 months. But my question is, if you're asking someone for a big favor, is it ever appropriate, or should you just not reach out?
Let me start. Let me start first. I think more so today that relationships are more conditional than they've ever been. It seems and feels like people choose relationships with people based on, let me go out and say it, if they have money, based on their status in the world. Maybe you have that friend or know of that friend is only friends with so-and-so because they have money, or they're only friends with so-and-so because they have a boat. And I just think that today there's less unconditional friendships and relationships than there ever have been. So, no, quit hitting up people just because you want something if you haven't talked to them in 2-3 years.
I think you have that worldview right now because of where you are in your life, and you're saying it's more so than ever. I don't feel that way at all. And if someone asks me for a favor, in fact, someone just did, actually asked if I had any connections with the Seahawks. And I take it as closed mouths don't get fed. Someone is looking to see if, hey, do you have any connections? And it was for a fundraiser for a worthy cause. And I had to just be honest, like, no, I don't have any, besides the fact that we air the games here. But I don't mind if someone asks me, for example, hey, could I get a ride? We joke about it. Can I get a ride to the airport? Now, there have been people who have offered me a ride to the airport, so I don't mind if I can do it, I'll do it. Or if, it's okay if you have that kind of relationship where it's that back and forth. Now, there are some times where you can have a friend who's just draining and it's only one way. They're going to ask and ask and ask and never offer in return. Then I would feel bad, but that just hasn't happened.
Not counting listeners that listen every day, I figured it out. Between my wife, you, producer, Nick, people here in the office, I talk to about 20 to 25 people a day. That includes friends and loved ones when I leave here, on the phone or through text message. So about 20, 25. Of those 20, 25 people that I talk to every single day, including here at work, not one person has asked me for anything in all of 2025 and into 2026. But people outside of that have asked me. Now, of the people outside of that have asked me for stuff, how many of them have said, hey,
what are you?
Gee,
yeah.
would love to invite you over here.
Yeah, that would make me mad.
Hey, G, we're having a barbecue and a get-together. Would love to invite you. Hey, we're having this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're quick to say, hey, under your mattress, in your glove box, in your console, in your desk at work, do you have any extra Super Bowl tickets? So let me just say it again. I don't have a problem with people like that's what loved ones, friends do. If Ursula were to ask me for something, which you never do, as a matter of fact, the last time you asked me for something was 2 days ago.
I know. I was just going to mention
that. Was 2 days ago.
And I felt horrible asking you, but I was like, you know what?
And what happened?
You gave it to me.
Manda Factor, who does an SMN.
Yes.
She said, gee, I want a hat. This morning.
Yes.
I bring her a hat.
That was nice.
She was just joking.
Yes.
But my point is, though, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Conditional relationships don't exist anymore.
Yes.
Everybody wants to, how can I use that person? And this is why some of you guys think I need to network, and you wonder why your network doesn't hold up. Because you're not real with those people.
No, and I do want to add, I think real friendships should not be transactional. I think
exactly.
The issue with this is I think it's interesting that you brought up the fact that like Ursula asked for something. I think because this often gets brought up where we have a very superficial society, I think real friendships, people are forgetting that they should be able to depend on their real friends and their own village. Like going to the airport. I think we should normalize being able to pick up your friend from the airport at 11 p.m. because that is friendship. However, asking your friend for something, if they're not a true friend, that's a very different argument.
Jared in Lakewood says, as a regular listener, I'm wondering, G, if you have any spare Super Bowl tickets. You know what was interesting the other day? I just want my one last thing I just want to say. My own wife, before the San Francisco 49ers game, the divisional playoff game, and I was like, hey, you're going to go ahead and I'm going to have you tickets for. She's like, oh, I get to go? Like my own wife. It's like shocked.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Right.
Anyway, what else you got next?
All right. Really quickly, before we run out of time, I want to bring up, something a little bit positive about our state. I feel like we're always kind of focusing on, it's really expensive here. There's things going on. But I wanted to draw attention to the fact that the state of Washington is reaching a population milestone. The state is now home to more than 8 million people. Washington is the 13th most populous state in the nation. And so despite all of these high costs, people are still moving here. And so I wanted to hear your thoughts of why do you think people are still choosing to live in Washington?
Because I would argue that physically it might be the most beautiful state other than Hawaii.
This is so easy. This is so easy.
Why?
If you move to a town that's a small town and the biggest operation they have is a restaurant, then most of the time your money is going to reflect that. The reason why you move to a Seattle, a San Francisco, an LA, a New York, look up right now the top 10 places to live and to make money financially. You give yourself a better chance of making money when you move to a place where you have big companies that make money. If you move to a podunk town in a state, chances are your money is going to be less unless you work from home. That's why you move. That's why people move to Seattle, because your chances are better.
Great opportunities and beautiful landscapes.
Yeah. All right. Text messages, feedback, and then, it is beautiful here. Then we have Ursula's Words to Live By.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10 and 7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Veterans, the new year's a good time to re-examine finances. If you're struggling with bills, VA loan expert Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says he may have a solution.
Many veterans are sitting on a lot of home equity, and even with a low mortgage rate, your total monthly payments may be a struggle. The good news is with today's lower VA loan rates, you can do a VA cash-out refinance and pay off your high-interest rate debt and roll everything into one low monthly payment. For example, one VA client saved more than $1,200 per month. And remember, with a VA loan, you can buy a home with no money down.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. Whether you're a veteran or seeking a convention.
Don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax. They know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about football. It's exciting when Seattle fans shake the earth. You can even feel that energy on your 100-inch variable refresh QLED surround sound 7.1. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know that enjoying the game often involves alcohol. And the police know it too. Have fun, be responsible on game day, and pace yourself. If you feel sacked in the fourth quarter, get a designated driver to take you to your end zone. If you get carried away with too many Bloody Marys after too many Hail Marys, call for a timeout. You get the point. Be safe. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. Watching the game in your blue and green jersey is a lot more fun than wearing an orange jumpsuit.
1-800-DUI-AWAY!
Cold is leaking and rocks are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Experience the iconic Mexican music group Bronco at Muckleshoot Casino Resort Saturday, February 28th at 8 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at muckleshootcasino.com.
Do you like helping others? Become a Shiva volunteer. In Pierce County, join the hundreds of volunteers across Washington state who help over 90,000 people each year with their Medicare options and questions. You don't have to know Medicare. We'll teach you. And if you're bilingual, even better. For more information and how to apply, call Shiva at 1-800-562-6900 or go to insurance.wa.gov.
Sponsored by the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and aired by the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Hey, during the break, as Ursula's getting ready for all the text messages, I said, hey, Ursula, can you just trust me this segment? And then Ursula's like, oh, absolutely.
Yes.
And so every now and then, I would say once a quarter, we kind of do a check-in. And I think this is more important. I think it's more fitting to end our week off with this. And I'm going to go around the horn. And I'm going to start with you, Ursula. And with all of the stuff that we are going through in this world, in our community, tough conversations that are having to be had, loved ones, it's not always easy. So what I want to do is I want to end this show off, this week off with, what is something good going on in your life? What is it? Why? What is something that you're proud of? What is something that you're looking forward to? And it goes for you listeners as well. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, Texas, 888-973-5476. I'll start. Is that fair?
Please.
I just want to say that I am most grateful for my wife. Yesterday, the conversation that I had with her, and she just, all of the stuff, and she says, you know, I want you to go do this and make sure like this is good for you. This is your time, you know, take advantage. And just,
She's got your back.
I realized yesterday, right, those words of affirmation, I realized yesterday the reason why I have been doing well in life is because I have a very positive wife in my corner. So that's what's going good in my life. How about you, Ursula?
Well, to piggyback on what you just said, what is going well in my life is that I have an extremely supportive husband.
Okay.
He has been my rock from all the crazy times in the business that we're in.
Yeah.
And when I need someone to listen and just listen, he listens really well. He has been a fantastic husband, and I would say an equally fantastic, or if not even better, father. And for those reasons, we have two sons who are very healthy and very happy. And I'm so grateful and proud of my family.
Awesome. That's really
Thank you for asking.
What you got there, Sophia?
Yeah, I mean, I'm also really grateful for my community. I know I talk about having housemates and roommates, and you're like, this Gen Z can't afford this economy, but also I genuinely I feel so grateful. I have really great roommates, and kind of this week, you know, things have been a little all over the place, switching up schedules. I'm not a big morning person, have to adjust things. And it's been nice to have people that I can come home to, and they're like, hey, like, let's make dinner together, and like, let's support one another. And that's been really beautiful.
Oh, those dinners together are pretty good, huh?
They are, yeah.
Hey, Brother Nick, what do you got?
What?
No, I mean, I just want to ask, what's going good in your life? I know you're going to give us the poem, but before that.
I don't know. I mean, it's just been a pretty good year so far, sticking with my goals, and yeah, it's been steady. Nothing too special.
I think he's putting together his.
Yeah. But I'm sorry,
Yes.
Nick. I'm sorry. Lomax in Sammamish says, hey, before you said it, G, I said it out loud. My wife. That's what they said. And Carrie in Body Lake says, what's good? Smart and healthy, hilarious, grown-up kids.
Isn't that the truth, though?
Yeah, that's a good one. C in Arlington says, I'm thankful for my loving husband and daughter and friends like you. Have a good weekend, y'all. And I guess it doesn't sound, I don't think it's corny, but like sometimes you just got to stop and be like, hey, these are the things that's going right in my life.
Absolutely. The other thing that's going right for us, we just recently signed contracts, so we're going to be together for at least the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So that is wonderful. Yesterday, we heard from so many people, and at the end of the show, I took the time to actually go through all our text messages.
Oh, did you?
And also the messages that people sent on social media and put them together, because somewhere way down the road, I'm going to want to look back at those messages and just remember that we had this opportunity to do a show together. And for that, I am forever grateful.
Pam and Shelton, one more before your words to live by. As strange as this sounds, I am grateful that they found breast cancer last year, and I ended up having two kinds. If the first one wasn't discovered, I would be most likely dead. What I'm grateful for is I'm almost done with my chemotherapy. I feel good, and I'm looking forward to 2026. Hey, Pam, we rocking with you, girl.
Oh, yeah,
we
we
rocking
are.
with you. All right, Ursula, it's time for your words to live by. What you got today?
I love this. Don't know who to credit, But do all things with kindness, compassion, and integrity, and you shall always be blessed beyond measure.
That's good stuff.
Simple.
Simple. All right, Brother Nick.
Well, we're getting closer to the game that's just 9 days away, and it's near this time where wagers can take place before they play. But we maybe need to tell our mayor how bets really work, that you don't give up rewards when you in fact won rights for perks.
Give a little bit of your time to
But I'm glad it's just for fun and there's no real dough on the line, because she would have been upset if winning left her giving dimes. And as for the mayor of LA, just forewarning, don't ask for any Super Bowl tickets from us. We don't have any for you. Believe me, G knows.
Good stuff, Nick. All right. Have a good weekend, everybody. Ursula, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you there. I appreciate you, Sophia. Thank you.
Road to the Super Bowl.
Road to the Super Bowl.
Next week.
Next week. Just a warning. Your boy will be down in SF, and I'll be talking to Ursula throughout. Hey, thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. Jake and Spike show comes in next. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
What's my voice sound? Pretty good?
Better than I thought it would. The John Curley Show.
I was really trying to work with my diaphragm.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
I was screaming as everybody else was screaming, and all of a sudden the muscles in my neck tightened up and it shut off blood in my head. I thought I almost passed out. I was so close.
What if you died?
Well, I would have been paying no attention to me. Like, get up, Dad.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Progressive presents a guided meditation.
Hear the birds sing. A chipmunk nibbling on an acorn. Smell the pine needles gently falling into your living room as the breeze blows through the gaping hole in your roof. Gaze up at that broken tree branch and relax, because you bundled your home and auto with Progressive and have the peace of mind of 24/7 protection. So relaxing.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
You know, this is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about, but if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/plan for 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
File your taxes for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma.
File on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Valid for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-990-3434. That's 800-990-3434. 800-990-3434.
9 days until Super Bowl 60. The only station where you hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl.